A camera for divers designed by divers, that's how Paralenz advertises their brand new innovation. With electronic image stabilization, automatic color correction and 4K 30 FPS recording options, this is an impressive camera for sure, but does it deliver on its promise? First time you will take the Paralenz out of the box, you will be surprised how small it is. It's actually small enough to put in your BC or put it in your sleeve, so it doesn't bother you when you're diving. Operating the Paralenz is quite easy. They've made a turning ring at the front, which you can select modes with, and the sliding button on the top will start recording or stop it. On the back there's a small display which will show which mode you're in and if you're recording or not. Even when you are wearing thick gloves, the Paralenz is quite easy to operate. The specs of the Paralenz are quite impressive. First of all, the camera will go down to 200 meters or 650 feet, which is really impressive and makes it possible to take the Paralenz on technical dives. Also you can film in 4K in 30 FPS and 1080p in 100 frames per second. This will last for 2 hours in 4K and 3 hours in 1080p, which is really impressive. The battery life is great. In the camera there are two sensors, one for temperature and one for depth. This data can be overlaid over your footage. It doesn't look really pretty, so I wouldn't do it, but it's possible. Also you can download this data to the app, and in this app you can log your dives and look at your footage. The depth data is used for the automatic color correction. We'll catch on this later. Furthermore, there's an electronic image stabilization, but this only works in 1080p, so in 4K you don't get any of it. Mounting the Paramount is easy because there are some rails on the bottom and you can just slide it right in. It's secure, it's steady, and it's a better mounting system than a GoPro. Talking about GoPro, Paralenz delivers a GoPro adapter, so all the mounts you have from GoPro can be used with a Paralenz, and this is quite smart. One of the more unique mounts is the third person mount, and you place it right behind you and you're in the shot while you're diving, and this can create some great footage. And we also tried it up front, but because of the drag while swimming, it will push the camera right up. When we took the Paralenz for a spin, we put a SD card in it. What we didn't know was that you need to format your SD card first. It was used in another camera, so when we went out and dove with it, it actually said, "We have saved your video." When we took the SD card out, put it in the computer, no videos there. Supposedly you need to format your SD card and then use it in the Paralenz, and this is kind of annoying. We are not the only one who are experiencing bugs with the Paralenz. The internet is full of them, but Paralenz is working on it. There are firmware updates and they really tend to listen to the community, and the Paralenz is getting better and better. In the end, it all comes down to the image quality. First and foremost, the Paralenz is a video camera. The stills are reasonable, but the video is way better. The stills just are not up to par with, for instance, a sea life camera. On the other hand, the video of the Paralenz is great, especially when you turn on the automatic white balance correction. The depth sensor in the Paralenz will know at what depth you are and adjust the white balance accordingly. And this turns out great. You get great colors and it really looks nice. You don't need any post-production, you don't need any red filters, you don't need any magenta filters. It's just really easy, especially for beginners. The color correction can be used in blue and in green water. There are two options for it, and you can choose which one is best suited for the situation. Where the camera struggles a bit is in dynamic range. This means when you have a really bright area in your video and a really dark area, the camera tends to overexpose the highlights, which means the brighter area. We've sent the video to Paralenz in the hope they can fix it with a firmware update, but we're not quite sure. It can also be a sensor problem, that the sensor is simply just not big enough. The electronic image stabilization works quite well, but it's only available in 1080p, and you still need to keep the camera as still as possible because it's an optical image stabilization. Paralenz has achieved something for divers which no other camera ever has achieved. The automatic color correction works great and yields a great image. You don't have to do anything in post-production if you don't want to. You don't have to hassle with red filters or magenta filters. The image just looks great. Despite the few bugs which are in it and the lack of a display, we can still recommend the Paralenz for any beginner shooter. The angle of the camera is wide enough so you will get your subject in frame, so lack of display is not really an issue. We even think it's better than the latest GoPro. When you just buy an action cam for underwater, go for the Paralenz. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give us a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to visit our Patreon page. We become your scuba assistant. See you on the next one.